All right. It is 6:52. Race number one, 200 buggy street stock. Make sure to have your batteries charged. Other than that, everybody start making your way over to the off-road wall for a driver's meeting. All right, race number 1. Start making your way to the stand. I am going to play the national anthem. Can everybody make their way to the track and remove their hats? All racers, remove your hats and find a flag.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? This was stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
All right, race number 1. Start making your way to the track. Marshall's race number 6. 13.5 late model. Make your way to the track to Marshall. All right, now is the time to make an adjustment if you need it. All right, let's get them rolling. Get them rolling. Race will go live in less than 5. Matt, Doug, Brandon, Dan, Sean. All 5 racers checked and rolling. Matt Sinex, first one across the line. Going to be number 1 on the clock. 55.4 flat for your leader. Dan in the 2. Oh, caution on the front. Go high. It's clear. That was Doug. He was working the 4 spot, now down to the 5. Dan Stewart moving up to the 1 spot. Brandon now in the 2. Matt 3. Sean 4. Your leader going to be blue and red, number 26. Down the backstretch he goes. Coming up on Brandon in that 2 spot. Sean in the 4. Gets around them cleanly. He's on a 55.403. Now, Matt Sinex making his way back up into that 2 spot. 0.5 tenth of a second behind Dan. Now 1/10 of a second. He is behind every car on the track. Gets around Sean. He's got 3 more to pass. 1:15 down, 2:45 to go. Your leader now, Matt Sinex to the point. Dan Stewart getting clipped in the rear. Picking up a wheel. Getting a little slow on exit. Now, Matt to the point. Gonna roll it over as I say his name. Dan Stewart back to the point. Oh, 3-car pileup. Watch the front, watch the front. That's your 2 leaders. Dan and Doug, 1 and 2. Now Matt and Brandon, 1 and 2. Dan falling back to the 3. Sean in the 4. Doug in the 5. We are halfway through this one. 2 minutes down. 2 minutes to go now. Your leader. All black, white wheels. Crossing the line there. Now to the backstretch. Now crossing the front. That is your leader on a 52.4 flat. Matt Sinex. Brandon Roberts in the 2. All yellow and white. Going to be the number 1 car. Down the front stretch. Crossing the line there. 2 seconds behind Matt. Dan Stewart was leading the race. 5th car across the line. Going to be starting out in the 3 spot so far. Oh, your number 2 car crossed up in the 1 and 2 corner. From the 2 spot down to the 4. Going to be Doug and Dan moving up in the world. Brandon's going to take that number 3 spot back. Doug down to the 4. Matt and Dan, 1 and 2. Going into the final minute of this race. 3 minutes down, 1 to go. Matt Sinex been leading the race out. He's got 4.5 seconds over Dan Stewart. Big gap. Just about 1 lap. Gonna be Dan Stewart in that 2 spot, working the front stretch. Brandon in the 3, Doug in the 4. No close racing happening right now. Closest race on the track. Battle for the 3 spot between Brandon and Doug. 3 and 4. About 4 seconds apart. That is your closest race on the track. Don't make a mistake or you could lose your spot. Other than that, positions should be locked up. Now the closest gap going to be 5 seconds. Battle for the 2 spot, Dan and Brandon. 5 seconds apart. That's your closest race on the track. 2 seconds on the clock. Matt Sinex going to go by for 1 more lap at the line. He is done. Matt going to take TQ tonight. Dan Stewart in the 2 and Brandon Roberts in the 3. Single A main for these guys. That is going to be your A main show. On it. That's a pretty... Would change Spurrier. Spurrier is kind of short.
Price 75 tooth. I have one if you need it.
All right, track is open. I have all my marshals, all my racers on the dirt. All right, get them spread out, get them spread out. Race will go live in less than 5. David McBain first across. Chase, Jake, and Brandon. That's all 4 of our racers checked and rolling. David, first one across the line. Going to be number 3 on the clock. Brandon out front, chasing that 2 spot. Now Jake to the 3. David falling to the 4. That is your lineup. Brandon out front, 44 and a 4:01. He's got half a second over Chase Jenkins now, 3/10. David flipping over in 3 and 4. He's about 2 seconds behind Jake Shake in that 3 spot. Brandon and Chase, 1/10 of a second apart. Brandon leading him off. Now Chase that time going to take the lead. Brandon falling behind. He's got a lap car in front of him. They are racing for position. Jake is only 1 second away from that top spot. Has to keep pushing. We are 1:10 down, 2:50 to go. Oh, Chase getting a little wild in turn 2. Almost flipped it over. He is on that top spot. Now Jake to the 2. Brandon falling back to the 3. David only 1/10 of a second away from that number 3 spot. That time by, he's going to take it. Brandon falling to the 4. David up to the 3. Brandon's going to take it back. David falling back. Chase and Jake, 1 and 2, only 2 seconds apart. 2/10 behind Jake, going to be Brandon. That is your close race on the track. Battle for the 2 spot. You have Jake Shake in the blue with white stripes, black wheels, coming through 3 and 4, down the front stretch, crossing the line. He's holding down the 2 spot. Brandon, now 1 second behind him. All black, number 3, Dale Earnhardt down the back, crossing the front now. That's your number 3 car. 2/10 of a second. Made up lots of time there. Now 1/10 of a second. It is closing up. 2:30 down, 1:30 left to go. Brandon moving up to that 2 spot that time by Jake, falling back to the 3. Oh, your leader crashing. Now Chase and Brandon very close. Oh, Chase's truck broken. Probably a shock. Brandon's going to crash on the front. They're going to keep going. Chase losing time. He is still in that 2 spot. He has to limp it for 1 more minute. Chase 2/10 of a second behind Brandon. He is pushing out of the corner. The worst possible shock to brake has done it. Brandon coming up to lap him on the track. Tries to crash him, slow him down. Chase now falling all the way down to the 4 spot. Brandon out front. Jake in the 2. David 3. Chase 4. 3:30 down, 30 left on the clock. Brandon, black, number 3 car, crossing the line there. He's got 3 seconds to the good over Jake in the blue and white down the front stretch. He goes crossing the line. Now David going to take that 2 spot. 10 seconds left on the clock. David in the 2, Jake in the 3, separated by 3/10 of a second. Jake going to take it that time. David with a very slow lap, 7-second mistake. They're going to be done the next time by. Keep going, Jake. David's done. Looking for Jake. He crosses. That's a race. Brandon gonna take it. Jake in a 2, David 3, Chase 4.
Yep.
All right, we got 3 racers in this one. All right. Get them spread out. Spread the trucks out. Oh. Race will go live here in less than 5. Going to be Justin and Riker. Now Justin, or Tony, all 3 cars crossed and rolling. Looks like Justin Fay going to take that top spot. Tony in the 2 and Riker in the 3. Oh, 1 and 2 on the track together. Tony going to come out front from that mistake. Justin, clearly the faster of the 2. Tighter line down the front. Bumping wheels with him. Going to take that spot right back. These guys are trying to take Brandon's TQ time of a 42.4 flat. Oh, Tony, big crash in turn 2. Justin keeping it clean. Like I said, trying to beat Brandon's TQ time of a 42.4 flat. Right now, Justin, the only one on it. He's on a 43.402. About 3-4 seconds to the good of that time. 1 minute 15 down, 2:45 left to go. Justin Fay out front. Gonna be the silver and gray, orange Fox Body Raptor crossing the line there. 43 and a 4:02. Hot lap 5.2. That is stock / lap times. Definitely the fastest sportsman racer out tonight. 43 and a 4 flat, about to be on 44 laps. That time by, he's going to be on it. 44 laps for your leader. Tony in that 2 spot, Riker in the 3. Like I said earlier in the driver's meeting, this race is going to be a single A main, no B main required. All 7 racers going straight to the A. So right now, Justin looking to reset TQ. Gets up in the wall there. No harm, no foul. He's going to keep on going. Brandon going to be in that 2 spot overall. Jake 3, David 4, Chase 5, Tony 6, Riker 7. That will be your running order in the main as it stands. Tony looking to improve his position. He's on a 44.03. He's about 15 seconds behind the leader. Oh, big crash there from the leader. He was on a 43.402. We'll see what it is this time. 2 big mistakes back to back. He still is on it. Not very close, though. That time by, he's going to fall off the pace. 42 and a 4:03 now. He needs to make up about 1 second of time. 3:15 down, 45 left to go. Justin falling off that TQ pace, looking to go number 2 overall. Needs to clean up his run and keep the mistakes to a minimum. He's got Tony Hunting right in front of him, who just ran his hot lap of a 5.4. Justin catching back up to his time. 42 and a 4:02. 15 seconds left on the clock. I don't think there's going to be enough time. He needs to find another second. 42 and a 4:01. It's possible. Oh, he gets hung up towards the wall. Gonna slow him down big time. Not gonna get it done. He's gonna go by when he's at the line. He will be done. Tony, keep going. Tony, keep going. Tony is done. Justin's done. Riker is done. That's a race. Justin not gonna get the two. Brandon gonna hold it down. All right, I am going to need one volunteer. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug and David, for volunteering. Track is open. All right, let's get them rolling. Get them rolling. All four cars will be live in less than 5. Gonna be Matt Sinex, Alan, Christian, Clinton. All four cars checked and going. First 15 seconds, already a big malfunction from Christian's car. Going to be falling back to the 4 spot. We got Clinton out front, Allen in the 2, Matt in the 3. 30 seconds into this one, 3:30 left to go. Clinton going to take back the point. 48 and a 4:01. Christian making his first lap out. 27-second mistake. So Clinton leading this one off. He has 1 second over Allen. Matt going to be in that 3 spot. Only 1.6 behind Allen. Real close racing. All 3 cars separated within 1 second of the next. 1 minute down, 3 left to go. Clinton out front. Green and black, number 29. White stripe crossing the line there. All 3 of them together on the track. Green and black, number 29. Down the back stretch, now to the front. He's got Matt Sinex all up behind him. He is in that 3 spot. Alan Ball working the 2. He's in the blue, white, yellow, number 32. White, chrome wheels in that 2 spot. White, yellow, black, blue, number 34. Matt Sinex in that 3 spot. Black wheels crossing the line there. Your number 2 and 3 on the same stretch of track. Same color choice. Kind of hard to call them out. 2 minutes down, 2 minutes left to go. Clinton pulling away in this one. Allen now 3.5 seconds behind. Matt only 1.5 behind Allen. Oh, Matt's going to go wide. Allen going to push the inside. Going to get it done. Nice move there. He's going to go a little wide on exit himself. Not going to be wide enough. He's getting a little nervous being out front of Matt Sinex. Going to try to put the move on him. 2:45 down, 1:15 left to go. Matt's going to make a little bobble. Not going to hurt him hardly at all. Still going to be a 5.4 second lap. Three minutes down. Final minute of the race coming up. Clinton holding it down. He's now got 1 lap over the field, nearly 4.5 seconds. Allen in that 2 spot. He's got 3 seconds over Matt, trying to pull a gap now. Christian Jenkins in the 4. Oh, Matt gonna roll it over. There goes his chances for a 2 spot. He's now 5 seconds behind Allen. Everybody evenly separated. Clinton and Allen 6 seconds apart. Allen and Matt 5 seconds apart. And Christian 2 minutes behind. 3:45 down, 15 seconds left on the clock. Your leader going by for 3 more laps, or 5 more laps. Green and black down the backstretch. He goes, now coming to the front. Next time by, he will be done. Next time by, he will be done. Clinton Tishner going to take this one. That's a race. Clinton going to take it. Allen in the 2 and Matt in the 3. Big gaps at the end of the race. 6 seconds between 1, 2, and 3. All right. Get them rolling. Get them rolling. We are ready to race. The heat will go live in less than 5. Brandon, Doug, Cole, Dan, all 4 cars rolling. They are checked and rolling. First couple laps going down. Doug Townsend, first across the line. Going to be in that 4 spot. Brandon, second across. Going to be in that 2 spot overall. Dan Stewart, final one to cross out front, leading out the class. He's got 1/10 of a second over Brandon Roberts now. Doug moving up to the 3, Cole down to the 4. We are 45 seconds into this one. 3:15 left to go. Heat 1 of 2. We got one more heat of this coming up. Throw down your best times. There will be a B main. Dan Stewart had a little bobble somewhere, didn't see it. Going to move Brandon Roberts to the point. He's on a 55.401. Dan Stewart in that 2 spot, half a second behind him. Doug, 2/10 behind him in that 3 spot, close racing for the 1. 1, 2, and 3. About 1.5 seconds down the leaderboard. So Brandon out front. Going to be the all-orange number 1, white wheels. Crossing the line there. He's got Dan Stewart in front of him. Oh, getting real loose going through 1 and 2. Car looks comfortable to drive. Nice job, Doug. Dan Stewart in the 2, falling way behind now. 2.5 now the gap. So, Brandon, quite the cushion. Just has to keep it on the wheels. 2 minutes down, 2 minutes left to go. Dan in that 2 spot now, 3.5 behind. Brandon throwing out hot lap after hot lap. 4.2 going to be his heater. Dan Stewart with a 4.3. And Doug with a 4.3. Dan Stewart's average lap going to be about a 4.5, 4.6. Brandon, consistent 4.3s across the board, pulling a couple tenths at a time every lap. He's now got that gap up to 5.5 seconds. 1:30 left on the clock. 2:30 down, 1:30 left. Brandon, all orange, white wheels, number 1 down the front, crossing the line there. He's now got 6 seconds over his closest competitor. Going to be Dan Stewart right in front of him on the track. Blue and red, number 26, getting a little loose, coming out of 2. Now 7 seconds behind. Doug Townsend in the 3. Going to be 3 seconds behind Dan. So now big gaps between everybody. Closest race on the track. Battle for the 3 spot. Going to be between Doug and Cole Denny. Now 3 seconds apart. Your leader, Brandon, coming down the final 30 seconds of the race. Going to be leading them off with a 55.401. 10 seconds over Dan Stewart. Very dominant run here. He's been throwing down 4.4s nearly every lap. 4.6 was his last one. Probably one of the slowest we've seen. 10 seconds left. He's going to go by for 2 more laps. 2 more laps for your leader. Dan Stewart now 12.5 behind him. He's on a 52.4 flat. Brandon crossed the line. He is done. Dan Stewart, Doug is done. Cole is now done. That is a race. Brandon Roberts going to take that one. 55.402. Dan in the 2 and Doug in the 3. All right, track is open. Looking for one more marshal. Thank you very much. I appreciate the help. All right. Get them rolling. Get them rolling. Gotcha. These guys are chasing down Brandon's TQ of a 55.402. Final race of the night for qualifying. Gonna see what these guys can do with that. They are spread out, all of them checked in. Race will go live. Less than 5. Gonna be Skeeter, John, Keith, Jason. All 4 cars are checked and going. Skeeter, first one across the line, gonna be holding down that 2 spot. So far, 1, 2, and 3 on the clock. Gonna be John, Skeeter, Jason. All 3 of them ahead of Brandon's TQ time of a 55.402. John Collins blowing that out of the water so far. 4 flat is his hot lap. 4.1 he just went last time by. Slow lap there for him. 5.2. He's on a 57.402. Backs it up with another 4 flat. So him, Jason, now the only 2 ahead of that TQ time. Looks like Skeeter going to fall off the pace a little bit. He's got to make up about 1 second if he wants to get back on that TQ pace. So John holding down the 1, 57.402. He's going to be in the all yellow and blue at number 59, crossing the line there. Leading them out another 4 flat. New hot lap for him. Backs it up with another 4 flat. Consistency. 57 and a 4 flat. Now Skeeter in that 2 spot, about 5 seconds behind him. Skeeter's going to be in that all black, also 59, old John Collins body. He's now 5.5 behind, now 6 seconds behind John. We are 2 minutes down, 2 minutes left to go. Jason in that 3 spot, 2 seconds behind Skeeter. So John, only 1 on a TQ pace. Halfway through this one, 2 minutes down, 2 minutes left to go. John Collins looking to reset TQ by about 3 seconds. That's going to put Brandon in that 2 spot overall. Skeeter in the 3 overall. And Jason, final spot in the A main overall. So right now, every person in this race, except Keith, John, Skeeter, and Jason, all looking to go into the A main. 2:45 down, 1:15 left to go. John Collins out front on a very dominant run right now. Now 9 seconds ahead of Skeeter, pulling away at that 0.3 of a second every single lap. 4.1 there, Skeeter, 4.3. Another 4.4 from Skeeter. John with a 4.2. 3:10 down, 50 seconds left on the clock. John's pace, 57 and a 4 flat. Skeeter on a 54.401, still good enough for that number 3 spot overall. Jason, 53.402, good enough for the number 4 overall. 1 and 2, John and Collins, separated by 12 seconds now. Skeeter and Jason, 2 and 3, separated by now 6 seconds on the clock. That is your closest race on the track. Going to be 6 seconds apart. Now, your leader going to go by for 3 more, 3 more laps this time by. Now 2 more laps. 3 seconds on the clock. Here comes the bell. There it is. He will be done at the line. John Collins going to take your TQ. Skeeter in the 2. Jason 3. Keith 4. Your overall lineup for the 13.5 class going to be John Collins' new TQ 57 and a 4 flat. Improvement by about 4 seconds. Brandon in that 2 spot. Skeeter in the 3. Jason in the 4. We're going to see Dan, Doug, Cole, and Keith brawling it out in a B main. It is 7:40. We're going to take a 35-minute break. Racing will get back going at 8:15. There will be 20 minutes of practice. Practice will go until 8 o'clock. So if you want 20 minutes of practice, now is the time to get it. So I'm going to repeat myself one more time. It is 7:40. Practice for 20 minutes. 8 o'clock, it will be shut down. Racing back going at 8:15. All right, it is 8:13. Race number 1. You are up to the track in about 2 minutes. Late model B main, Dan, Doug, Cole, Keith. Make your way to the track here in the next minute. Marshall is going to be from the Sportsman A main. Brandon, Justin, Jake, Chase, Tony. Those are my marshals. If you guys can come out and help here in the next minute. Race number 1, make your way to the stand. It is 8:16. Going to be 13.5 late model B main, Dan, Doug, Cole, Keith. Marshals from the sportsman class, make your way out here to help Marshall. There are 6 of you. Can I get just 4 to come out here and help Marshall? I repeat, sportsman, race number 6, come help Marshall. Can I get Chase and Jake to the track for marshaling, please? Thank you, guys. Now is the time to make changes if you want them. Looks like we got a pit crew over here. All right, no takers. We're going to get them lined up. Dan Stewart going to start on point. Doug in the 2. Cole 3. Keith 4. Dan Stewart, blue and red, number 26. Going to be leading them off when he is ready. He's got Doug in the 2 and Cole in the 3. Going live out of 4. Good start. All 4 of them checked in, going. Let's try to get a clean first couple laps. Oh, Dan going to ride the pipe and leave it wide open. Doug going to take the inside. Black and white, Doug Townsend. Hot lap of the race, 4.2 on a 51.4 flat pace. He is now going to try to pull away from Dan Stewart. That is your bump, 1 and 2, Doug and Dan. Now Doug on a 54.404, half a second over Dan Stewart. Now closing up to about 0.2 of a second. Cole Denny in the 3 on the outside looking in. These guys having their own races around the track. Cole and Keith having a race. Doug and Dan having a race. Doug going to roll it over. Put Dan back to the point. Rolls absolutely reversed. Now Doug going to be the one pushing back up in there. They are both in bump positions. They could just play it safe, go 1 and 2. Doug could push the issue and try to get into the 1 again. They are half a second apart. Coming up on lap traffic. Coming up on Keith and Cole. Get around Keith. Cole about to be put 1 lap down from the leaders. We are 140 down, 220 left to go. Dan Stewart out front, 1/10 of a second behind him, half a tenth. Gonna be Doug Townsend. Both of them getting up on 2 wheels. You can see the weight transfer. Blue and red, number 26. Out front. He's now pulled a gap, half a second. The car getting really upset in 3 and 4. Looks like it has more grip than 1 and 2. Car trying to traction roll. I see both of them doing it. Looks like for the A main, they're going to need to take a little bit of bite out of the car. Both of them 2-wheeling it. Dan's car a little bit worse. He is holding the line. Going to try to keep it closed from Doug Townsend. We have 1:20 left on the clock. 2:40 down, 1:20 left. Dan Stewart out front, 55.4 flat. Half a second behind him, Doug Townsend. Black and white. Both of them rocking the white wheels. Down the front stretch they go, crossing the line, both of them. Oh, Dan going to make a mistake, going to catch the wall. Going to be sucked in and rolled over. Now Doug out to the point. Very good situation for him. He now has 1 second over Dan Stewart. He's going to roll it over himself. All the while, Cole looking to get that lap back on Doug. 35 seconds left in this one. Dan and Doug now 1.5 apart, about half a track separated. Dan Stewart out front, 1.5 behind him. Doug Townsend. Those two cars trading positions back and forth. Traction not really wanting to go down. Cars getting upset in the high-speed corner. 5 seconds on the clock. Your leader going by for one more lap. Next time by, he will be done. Dan Stewart going to be your bump. Doug going to take the number 2 spot. 1 and 2 going to bump Dan and Doug to the A main. All right, track is open. Watch the backstretch, watch the back, go low. I need one volunteer, Marshall. One volunteer to come out here and help us. Okay, thank you, Jake. We are covered on marshals. Let's shut the track down. Shut the track down. Chase, Tony, Riker. So, Tony, you're going to be starting in the number 2 spot behind Chase. Rolling starts. Chase, whenever you're ready, you know how to lead them off. Tony, follow close behind. He is in that 2 spot, 5 out of 4. Good start there. Chase going to get the jump on him. Tony in that 2 spot, making up lots of time. Oh, going to tap the wall and roll it over on the front. Go high down the front, high down the front. Good job. Now Chase with a massive gap. He's got nearly 7 seconds over Tony. Gonna be Tony in that 2 spot and Riker in the 3. Oh, watch the back go low down the back. It's clear. Your leader just gonna focus on putting in some decent laps, staying out of the crashes. 1 minute down, 3 left to go. Chase out front. Now 10 seconds over Tony. Now 13 seconds after that mistake. Tony, a 9-second mistake. Gonna set him back. Chase, hot lap of the race, 5.4 there. Never mind, Tony gonna take the hot lap, 5.3 that last time by. Tony clearly has a truck to keep up. Just has to minimize the mistakes. Speaking of, Chase gonna catch the pipe and roll it over. We are 2 minutes down, 2 minutes left to go. We have a big gap between our leaders. Chase in that one spot, he's got 16 seconds over Tony. Tony in that 2 spot, he's got 16 seconds over Riker. About 30-something seconds overall, front to back. Lots of mistakes out here. Tony and Riker struggling to keep it on the wheels. Chase just putting his head down. He knows that he shouldn't be down here with a broken car. Just has to put his head down and keep the car on the wheels. Three minutes down. Final minute of the race. 1 minute left to go. Chase out front. Orange, gray, black. Gonna be the Traxxas Fox body with black rims. Down the front stretch, crossing the line there. 43 and a 404. That is fast enough to reset the TQ. If this was qualifying. Final 30 seconds of the race. Ten seconds left. Your leader going to go by for one more lap. Next time by, he will be done. There's the tone. Tony, Chase, and Riker, all three are finished. Chase and Tony gone up to the A main. I need Chase I need Chase and Tony back out to the track to Marshall. If you cannot make your way out here, have someone come out for you. I'm going to need one volunteer marshal. One volunteer to handle corner 3. One volunteer in turn 2. Thank you, David. Appreciate you. Track is open. All right, I have all my marshals. I have all my racers. Start turning laps. I got a check from all of the cars. All right, now is the time to make your changes if you want them. These guys took about half a lap and decided they don't need any more. All right, if you want to make any changes, now is the time to do it. Now is the time. Watch turn 4. All right, get them lined up. Matt out front. Dan in that 2 spot. Brandon in the 3. Sean, you're going to be in that 5 spot. Matt 1, Dan 2, Brandon 3, Doug 4, Sean 5. Side by side, gonna try to stick it in there. See what Brandon can do. Matt Sinex leading us off in the all gray white wheels, getting pushed around. He's gonna be leading them off, trying to go tone to tone with the rest. Out of 4 they go. Dan Stewart gonna get him on the first turn. He said he was gonna do it. Matt leaving it open. From the 1 all the way down to the 4 spot. We have a race for the lead. Dan going to get up on 2 wheels. Going to leave it open for Brandon. Brandon's going to go a little wide. Give it right back. Now Dan from the 2 spot to the 1. Brandon from the 3 to the 2. And here we have Sean all the way from that bottom spot up into the podium. He's about 3 seconds off of these guys. He is getting reeled in. He's about 0.5 of a second slower every lap. One minute down, 3 left to go. Dan Stewart leading him out. Blue and red, number 26. White wheels crossing the line there. Brandon Roberts right behind him. 0.1 of a second. Gonna be the all yellow and white number 1 crossing the line there. White wheels as well. 0.1 of a second. Dan gonna roll it over. It's gonna be a slow Marshall. He's gonna wait for the cars to pass. 1 lap behind now. Brandon and Dan, 1 and 2. Sean, Doug moving up to the 3. Sean back to the 4. Now your leader, all yellow and white. That bright neon yellow coming down the front stretch, crossing the line, is leading off the race. In that 2 spot, going to be Dan Stewart. Blue and red, number 26. As he started the race, he's hoping he doesn't have to finish there. He's going to roll it over. He has 4 seconds over Doug, just about 1 lap. Now Doug, 2.5 seconds behind him. 1 straightaway apart. 1:40 left on the clock. 2:20 down, 1:40 to go. Brandon, nearly a lap and a half lead right now. He's got 7 seconds over Dan Stewart. Dan Stewart has 3 seconds over Doug. Doug gonna roll it over as I say that. Doug's in that black and white wheels crossing the line there. Gonna be the number 33. Down the backstretch now to the front, crossing the line. That's your number 3 car. He is 3 seconds behind Dan. He's got 4 seconds back to Matt Sinex, who started on the 1, by the way. .315 down, 45 seconds left to go. This is two-wheel drive buggy street stock A main. Brandon from that 3 spot up to the 1. Dan, as he started from that 2 spot, that's where he's sitting. Now 10 seconds behind Brandon. Doug has the fast lap of the race. He's in that number 3 spot. 4.24. Only car to hit a 4.2. 15 seconds left in this one. No close racing is happening. 10 seconds left. Brandon going to go by for 2 more laps. Next time by, he will be done at the line. There's the bell. Brandon going to take it home. Dan Stewart in that 2 spot. Doug, final one on the podium. Brandon, Dan, Doug. All right, go ahead and get him checked in. Oh, where's my marshals at? Lots of racers in that last one. I'm looking for Brandon Roberts. That's the only guy we're missing right now. Gonna need 1 volunteer marshal. Brandon Roberts to the track. All right, go ahead and get him checked in. Go ahead and get him checked in. Saving the battery. Clinton out front. Allen in the 2, Matt in the 3, Christian in the 4.
Hey, what's your lap record you gotta go for? How many laps? 55? How many laps? 55? 47.
Point one. All right. Clinton leading them off. Whenever he is ready, he's got Allen, Matt, and Christian going to be chasing close behind. Green, black, white stripes. Number 29. Got the green wheel dots. Try hard out here. Going live out of 4. Good start. Oh, number 3 and 4 getting caught up on each other. Matt's car looking a little squirrely out there right now. Now a little pushy and rolly. Oh, yeah. All right, first 30 seconds going down. We got Clinton Tishner out front. He's on a 46.401, just running a 4 or a 5 flat hot lap. Allen in that 2 spot, 4.9 second lap out of him. Clinton now on a 47.403. Consistency here. He's got a lap car in front of him. Thank you, Matt. Clinton and Allen, 1 and 2. Clinton now on a 47.402.5. Allen, 404.9. Half a second behind him. Now Clinton on a 47.401. He is looking to beat his own record of a 47.402. Looking to improve it by a couple tenths of a second. 47.401 with a 6. He's got about 5 tenths of a second to play around with. 130 down, 230 left to go. Allen in that 2 spot. He is losing sight of Clinton, though. Clinton looking to pull away a bit. Both of them consistent 5 flats. There, Allen, 4.9. That's what he needs. Couple more of those, and he will be right up on Clinton's bumper. Now Clinton on a 47.4 flat. Oh, going to hit a crash car on the front. Going to slow him down half a second. That was a 5.5 second lap. He's now in a 47.401.3. Allen, 1 second behind him. 47.403 for him. We are 230 down, 130 left to go. Clinton, new hot lap for himself, 4.9 there. Finally got in there. He's on a 47.401. He's only got 1 second back to Allen. Allen is making up lots of time now. Clinton, back-to-back 5.1s. And Allen, another 4.9. He is catching. 1 minute left to go. 3 down, 1 to go. Clinton is slowing down. 5.13. 5 flat there. Allen with a 5.1. They have 6 seconds back. Oh. Matt going to pull off the track. Christian Jenkins up to that 3 spot now. 3:30 down, 30 left to go. The race going down the backstretch. Green and black, number 29, leading them off. He's got Allen Ball, blue and yellow, number 32, crossing the line there. Coming down, 20 seconds left on the clock. Your leader. Oh, Allen going to roll it over. Big gap now. Clinton out front. He's on a 47.401.2. Looking to improve his 4-minute main time. Hot lap for him, 4.995. Allen with a 4.95. Clinton is done. Christian is done. Allen is done. That is a race. Race number 5, 13-5, late model. John, Brandon, Skeeter, Jason, Dan, Doug. Looking for one more marshal. Gonna be Matt Sinex out to the track. Here he comes. Covered on marshals. Looks like Jason bringing his dog onto the stand for good luck. I like it. Oh. All right. Now is the time for adjustments. Not a single taker. All right, let's get them lined up. 6 cars. John, Brandon, Skeeter, Jason, Dan, Doug. All of these guys really fast paced. John kind of showing him how much extra he has in qualifying. Ran about 3 laps faster. He is going to be leading us off whenever he is ready. All yellow and blue, number 59. John out front. Brandon, all orange, number 1 in that 2 spot. Skeeter, all black in the 3. As they go. As they were called off, they are still rolling. Good first couple laps here. Oh, John going a little wide, getting squirrely on exit. Got a little out of his line. Car did not like that. All yellow and blue, number 59 out front, looking to pull a gap now. Just needed to shake Brandon a little bit. Oh, speaking of Brandon, getting squirrely on exit, going to completely lose his position down to the 6th spot. No big crash, just spun out. Doug tapping out. Now, Dan Stewart from that 5 spot up into the 2, going to flip it over himself. Back to the 5 spot he goes. John out front. Skeeter in that 2 spot, about to get lapped. John working his way through traffic. He's lapped all the way up to the 4 car. Now he's looking to get into the backside of Jason Basham. 1:15 down, 2:45 to go. Oh, man. Skeeter going to catch the pipe and get up on 2 wheels. Going to get rear-ended. Back to the 3 spot. Brandon now up to the 2. Couple of mistakes from our guys in the back. Your running order going to be John, Brandon, Skeeter, Jason, Doug, Dan. John Collins, only one on a really good run right now. Everyone else having at least 1 mistake or more. John on a 57.403. In qualifying, he ran a 57.4 flat. Hot lap, going to be a 4 flat from him. Only person to throw one down. Brandon in that 2 spot, 4.17 the hot lap. 5 seconds behind John on the clock. That's about a lap and a straightaway apart. John, Brandon, Skeeter, your top 3. You got Skeeter in that 3 spot. He's about 2 seconds off of Brandon. Skeeter in that all black, number 59. Cross the line there. Now to the backstretch. He's got the leader behind him. And that number 2 car half a track away. He is losing pace. It was 1.7 between them. Now 2.7. Lost a second. Oh, your leader getting a little rough down the front. Didn't see what happened. 5.3 second lap from him. Still has a very good cushion. 6 second gap back to Brandon. We are 3 minutes down, 1 minute left to go. John Collins, your leader, down the backstretch. All yellow and blue, black wheels. Number 59. Crossing the line now. Right there, 57.404. 6 seconds over Brandon. 45 seconds left in the race. That's 3:15 down, 45 on the clock. Brandon in that 2 spot, Skeeter in the 3, Jason in the 4. The podium spreading out. John, 5 seconds over Brandon. Brandon's got 3.5 over Skeeter, and Skeeter's got 5.5 over Jason. Jason's in that 4 spot, just off the podium. Closest race on the track. Battle for that 4 spot. Jason and Dan. Jason in the all-white 57. Dan, blue and red 26. 5 seconds on the clock. Your leader going to go by for one more lap. Next time he crosses, he will be done. John Collins going to take it. Brandon in that 2 spot. Skeeter in the 3. That is your A main wrapped up. John, tone to tone. Didn't let Brandon see any of it. As they started, they finished in their starting positions.
I did not take that record. How? I thought you said it was a...
All right, there were lots of racers in that last one. I only have one marshal at the track right now. I need 4.
4 flat. 4.07.
Watch turn 4. Watch turn 4. It's clear. I need one more marshal in turn 4. All right, let's get them lined up. All right, we have Brandon on that 1 spot. Justin 2, Jake 3, David 4, Chase 5, Tony 6. All of them scrunching in there. All right, Brandon, whenever you are ready. All black, number 3. Down the backstretch he is going. He's got Justin the 2. Jake already looking to cut up. Real smooth. Looking for the inside before the race even started. Got put in his place. All right, roll around. One behind the other. Out of turn 4 they will go. Much better start. Oh, completely mixed up. Brandon going to go wide, get completely mixed up with the rest of the pack. Jake from the 3 made a fool of himself in the first round. Now to the point. Jake Shake from the 3, 2 to 1. Out front. He's got half a second back. Going to be Tony Hutton. Wow, big mix-up from that 6 spot up to the 2. Now Chase Jenkins from the 5 up to the 2. Your number 3 car out front. Your number 5 in that 2nd spot. And your number 6 starting car in the 3. What happened to our top 3? Where did they go? So 1 minute down, 3 left to go. Jake out front. He's got half a second over Chase. David in between them. David, make sure to give him plenty of room. Thank you very much. So Jake and Chase. Oh, Chase going to get into him. Now Jake going to be fighting the back of the pack. Here comes Justin Fay. Tony up into that 2 spot. Justin in the 3. Jake back to the 4. 1:30 down, 2:30 left to go. Chase Jenkins out front. Going to be the red, gray, black. Traxxas Fox body. Black wheels. Crossing the line now. Tony in that 2 spot. Traxxas stock body down the front stretch. Crossing the line now. Justin right behind him. Jake a second behind them. Brandon in the 5. David in the 6. We are 2 minutes down. 2 minutes left to go. Looks like Tony had a little bobble. Going to put Justin up to that 2 spot. Now, Jake all over the backside looking for that number 3 podium position. Oh, Tony crossing the line there. Red, white, black. Traxxas stock body crossing there. He's got Jake all over his backside. Jake in that blue and white stripes. Black wheel's going to roll it over, catch the pipe and roll it over. Now a lap behind the leaders. Big crash there. 2:30, 1:30 left to go. 2:30 down, 1 left to go. Oh, Jake, you cannot be doing that. Cutting the track. So as they run, you have Chase in the 1, Justin in the 2, Tony 3, Jake 4. 3 minutes down, 1 left to go. Oh, watch the front stretch. Go high, go high. 45 seconds left on the clock. Chase from that 5 spot up to the point. Justin in the 2, Tony in the 3. Now Tony taking over that number 2 spot. Justin with the crash. Your 2 bumps. The guys that bumped from the B main looking to take the win in the A. Chase and Tony, your 5 and 6 car. Now to the point. Justin from starting in the 2, now back in the 3. 10 seconds left on the clock. Your leader going by for 3 more laps. 3 more laps. Now when he crosses, going to be 2 more laps. Justin with the crash. He is solidified into that podium position. Chase is done. Tony's done. Justin's done. That's a race. Race is over. Chase Jenkins going to take it from the 5 to the point. Tony from the 6 to the 2. And Justin from the 2 back to the 3. Good night of racing. It is 9 o'clock. If you made a podium or a TQ position, make your way up front for a podium picture. Other than that, make sure you guys get home safe. There is lots of ice on the roads. Drive safe. Get home and make sure you're here next week.